All right, guys. Thanks for joining me for another soccer preview. Today I have Ocean Township head coach Cassie Della Pesca from Ocean Township. Thank you for joining me, Coach.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to do this.
Yes, I'm excited to because girls soccer they don't get anything in the Shore Sports Network. Um,
Mm.
APP just basically puts
And
their names in for the rosters and. I know media is stretched thin, so I'm just trying to help bring some more light to the girls' game, especially in short
I
course soccer.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Any opportunity to talk about the players and the program, this is a great opportunity, and I appreciate you reaching out. And I'm glad to do this. And I'm excited to get started on Monday. I'm looking forward to be back on the field.
Yeah, a lot of coaches they can't wait. They didn't like that 2-week hiatus, but
That blackout. Yeah, it's like because we were going in the summer. We had all August, and then we're like, all right, 2 weeks I won't see you. We were doing Zoom meetings, and it's not the same.
yeah, and a lot of coaches I talk to, club teams are going,
Yeah.
full contact, and when we talk about this season, we'll talk a little bit about COVID and how you handle that. But
Mhm.
first, when did you start coaching?
So I played at Montclair State 4 years there, and then after I had the opportunity to stay on the coaching staff, so I was a volunteer coach for 2 years, and it was a learning opportunity for me, and I learned a lot. After that, I stepped on and was a trainer for Covert for about 10 years, and I was training teams throughout the state and meeting, networking with a lot of coaches. So that was a jumping off point for me and get that itch of coaching and how much I really loved being around soccer and coaching there.
Yeah, I do miss coaching a little bit. I got my coach's license when I was 15. My dad made me go get it, and then I enjoyed it. And then whenever Howell Rec needed a coach, they would call my dad. My dad had no, he was done already. So he would meet me, and my sister was my assistant, and then there was like another girl, close to my sister, in between me and my sister that would help us out. And,
Yeah.
we had a blast coaching, like the 8, 9-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing that now. I'm coaching my daughter's U11 team in Howell. So I'm coaching at the high school here, and also I'm coaching the travel team there. And that's been a great opportunity too.
I know the Freehold Borough coach was coaching the U9 in Howell, right?
Yes.
Still
Yeah.
doing that? Yeah, I know. Julie tried out for that team first, but she wanted to play with her friends in Jackson. So, yeah, travel starts Sunday. Can't wait for that.
First game, we're going to Jackson actually.
They're in Point Pleasant for their first game. They're in the low division because they just entered the MOSA.
Same with us.
Yeah. So now she played. What was it? Battle of Monmouth, Twin County.
My one daughter played at Battle of Monmouth, and then we switched over to Howell United this year. And me and actually one of my friends who we played at Montclair State together, we're coaching. Her daughter's on the team, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't realize Viv was 2 years older than Julie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Viv will be turning 10.
Yeah. So she don't turn 9 until January. So how's the team look?
You know what, we're a new team. There's a lot of players coming from rec and starting. But at this point, this age, we're just trying to develop the skills, and for them to enjoy and love the game, so they become lifelong, supporters of the game and continue to play.
Yeah, and being a good coach helps that. Hope my niece keeps the interest up. The younger one just is going to be playing rec. In Howell.
That's great.
Yeah, she played one season. Didn't care for the running, but I guess watching her sister play last fall, she told my sister, I want to play soccer. I want to try playing soccer again. So my sister signed her up for Howell Rec. Mm-hmm. So and Julie's going to do it too. They're going to be on the same team. So I don't know how that's going to. Yeah. But it should be fun to watch her on the field. So when did you start at Ocean?
I started in 2014 as a JV coach. I was there for 2 seasons, and then I stepped away for a season. I was pregnant with my son, and then in 2017, the head coach position opened up. And after talking with my husband and my kids, talking about applying for the position, it wasn't a matter of whether I was qualified. It was more about the sacrifice of taking on a head coaching position, but they fully supported me taking the position, and they were there the whole time, and I appreciate all the support that they give me. And so 2017, I came on as the head coach.
That's right. So what made you get into the coaching?
Soccer, sports altogether, but soccer has been such a influential part of my life, and the person I became. And the lessons that I've learned on the soccer field and the friendships that I gained, throughout my years playing will be with me forever. So, for me, I wanted to provide that opportunity for female athletes, and also to provide a positive experience. Being a collegiate college athlete, I've been where they are. I know the struggles. I've been a player who started. I've been a player who sat the bench. I wanted to be able to reach these athletes. And for a lot of our players here, they're not going on to college. This is their last experience. So I wanted to give them that opportunity of having a positive experience. Coaching has been something that I've loved and my passion. It's been fun. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah. Do you find a similarity in coaching and teaching?
Yes, I'm a health and phys ed teacher. So, the organization, flexibility, it definitely plays on the soccer field, because as you know, you're planning something, a schedule or a practice plan, and all of a sudden something changes and you have to shift and you have to, change your practice on the fly. So teaching has definitely have enabled me to have a little more success with that. And I like to see the players, a lot of the players I have in class, so.
Yeah, I said yesterday, the teachers I responded best to were the ones who were coaches, that coached the sports, in high school and stuff. So,
yeah.
Just something to, the way they know how to communicate with the students, and, I always had, best times in those classes.
Yeah.
Since you've been at staff in Ocean, even as an assistant, what are some accomplishments Ocean Township has had?
So, one thing that I have to say I'm truly proud to be a part of is we have an annual Maya Cup game. Each year we honor the life of Maya Lynn Terry, and it's just a special game, and it means a lot to our players and people in our community. So it's a wonderful game where everyone comes together. We honor Maya Lynn Terry, and we raise awareness and financial aid to children in our community who are impacted with pediatric cancer. So this will be our 9th year. So that's something it's something that I'm truly proud of, our players are proud of, and it's a huge accomplishment for Ocean Township girls soccer.
Now, did you play short at that? Is that short regional?
We've had, throughout the years, we've played different teams. We've had RBC, we played RBR, Mid-North, Colts Neck last year, which was a nail biter of a game in overtime. But it doesn't always come out on our end, but it's still it's a competitive atmosphere. It's the band's there, the crowd. It's a night game. It's a special game for our program and for honoring Maya.
Yeah, that's. Do they do something similar during basketball season?
Yes, this year was the first year that we had basketball had a game dedicated to Maya.
Yeah, I was at that game, and
yes.
Yeah, I know that I wasn't there for the boys' game, but it looked like a huge turnout for the boys' game.
Yeah.
And I know the girls, they played short. Did the boys play short too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So rivalry there. Who are some players in the past that meant a lot to the program?
Every player that comes through has left their mark in the program and has laid a foundation for future Spartans. Every player that's come through. But 2 players I'd have to say that's really made a mark is Taylor Raspiopi. She ended up going to play at Duke. And Alex Pickett went to East Stroudsburg. Outstanding players. I was a JV coach here when they were here. Just outstanding players, but also they've had a remarkable college career too.
Yeah, Duke, a joke if you're going to Duke.
Yeah.
I think one of the Toms River North girls is going to Duke that just graduated, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yeah.
Now we'll talk a little about last season. I saw you early in the year against Middletown North. Didn't get to catch you. I was trying to get to the Freehold Borough State game.
Mm.
So I want to just talk about a couple of accomplishments that your team had last season.
So as we're rebuilding, we were a young team. We're going to be a young team this year too. So any small accomplishment that we make is, as we're rebuilding, is a victory for us. So for us was, to advance to states, past first round states, which we did, which was great. And also to have a better record than previous years, which we did. So, small things, nothing grand, but these little small things will add up. And for the players, we just try to get them to understand that it's a process, and to trust the process. It's not going to happen overnight. But if they keep on believing and continue to work, these little accomplishments will add up.
Now, looking at your schedule last year, you had a pretty tough schedule. Red Bank Regional, RBC. I'm looking at it now. Middletown South,
Wall,
Colts Neck,
St. John Vianney,
St. Rose, and I went to a lot of the St. Rose games. That was one game I missed, but you took St. Rose to the limit.
Yeah, overtime.
When I talked to Julian Laskowski's father. The next game I saw him, I said, what happened in the Ocean game? He's like, they came to play. And
yeah.
So do you find, in basketball, they always say, they like the better teams, St. John Vianney, St. Rose, RBC, they like to schedule basically a brutal regular season to get them ready for states. Do you think your schedule helped prepare for states and being able to help you beat Freehold Borough in advance?
Yeah, Freehold Borough was a competitive team, but we were pretty matched up. But we're battle tested for sure. We play some of the best teams in the short conference. You just went over some of the Mid-South. We opened up with Brook Memorial, went right to Mid-South, Mid-North. So we saw a lot of great teams, and it did prepare us. And moving forward, we went to Hopewell Valley. They were a very competitive team as well. But it's no different than what we see in the short conference.
Who are some senior? Actually, let's go back to Steve. Can you just talk a little bit about that Freehold Borough game? Now, Freehold Borough once it was Freehold Township. They beat them. They're very well coached team. They don't give up. They might be on paper overmatched on it, but they don't play that way. And they were trailing against Township twice. They didn't give up, scored, tied it, and sent it to overtime and won in overtime. So I know your game went to overtime, right?
Yeah, it went to overtime and then PKs. And then overtime PKs, yeah. So like I was saying, I think Freehold Borough and our team were very matched up. We're very similar in that, as I was saying, we're battle tested. We're going to play you hard, So when we step onto the field, Freehold Borough was the same way. So it was a tough game. We were going at it the entire time until it was 1-1. And then went into overtime. No one scored. Then we ended up going to PKs. PKs was a roller coaster ride. We were going back and forth. And we ended up actually, one of the Freehold Borough players, I believe Juju, our goalkeeper, saved it. And then they took it back and they redid it because the ref said she was excessive celebration or taunting. So she ended up taking another shot and making it. So we ended up having to go into double PKs, and we came out on top. We had our senior captain, TT Pritzloff, made it. Then we had Abby come up, which is a freshman, and she ended up making it. And then Juju Nice, our goalkeeper, made a huge save at the end to win the game and advance us to states.
Now, she's a freshman, right?
She was a freshman last year. So we started 3 freshmen on the roster last year.
Yeah, that's good for, the future of the program. I was looking at the roster. It did look, not that many seniors compared to some other rosters. Can you talk about, some of the seniors and, what they meant to the program that left?
So this senior class was special. This was last year was my third year, so
Okay.
I really got to get to know them through the past 3 years with them, and they were a tight knit group. They were playing ever since they were younger, and they came through soccer playing. So they were just a very special group. And for them, this was their last year. They weren't going on to play soccer. So this meant a lot to them to stay together and to play. But captains like TT and Jillian Marshall were just outstanding leaders on our field. Moving forward, who's going to step up into those positions? They're really sorely missed on the field. TT was just the quarterback for us. She could score. She had assists. She was just a real playmaker. So we're going to definitely miss her. And Jill was in the back line, in center back, and she was just a strong player back there for us too, and a great leader. And then we had Volik and Bella and Annie were on the field. Just again, strong players. And we had also Ava Gamma, who was injured, unfortunately, her senior year, but still just they were just a special group, and we're going to miss them next year.
Yeah, I think the Middletown North game, I think Bella was the one who scored for you, if I remember.
Yeah, she's had the assist to TT, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough early in the year because NJJ. Hang on. I don't know who's here. NJ.com's rosters early in the year are not good, so some players don't have numbers, and
yep.
So that game, it was hard for me to get the right stats of who scored that game.
Yeah, that was a tough game for us against Mid-North. Yeah, they're always a very strong team.
Yeah, they I'm good friends with Rin's father, who's a great player. Now the preview this season coming up. You mentioned people stepping up to take over the senior roles. Do you have any players you think that right now that look like they're going to take over like the leadership roles on the team?
Yeah, well, we have our seniors. Again, we don't have a very big senior class again this year, but the seniors have been doing a great job stepping up, being leaders for us so far this summer. Very involved, trying to get the underclassmen involved. I'm very impressed and happy with their leadership so far. And we have some underclassmen who really have stepped up too. We have some juniors that have taken on more leadership roles than, and then we've asked, and it's been great to see them grow as players, but also leaders and role models in our program.
When I interview the players, the first thing I like to ask their freshman year, what seniors helped them, and what did they teach them? And all of them say, leader, how to be a leader of the team.
Absolutely.
Which is great when, the upperclassmen show that to the younger-classmen, help.
Absolutely. If they're not doing the work, you can't expect them, the freshmen, and we're going to have a young team. There's some freshmen coming in that could potentially, make an impact on our program again this year. Like we had last year, we had 3 starting freshmen. So we may have some freshmen stepping up and taking over some positions, So we need that leadership, We need those role models.
Speaking of incoming freshmen, who are a couple of the freshmen that have caught your eye so far?
We have one player, Natalie. She's coming in. We've been watching her over the summer, and she's just really a dynamic player in the middle. That's someone that we're going to be watching. There's some other players we need someone to fill in the back line for us. One of our goals for this season is to increase our shooting percentage and scoring opportunities. So we're looking for someone to step up in the striker forward position too. So we have our eyes on some players. It's a little bit hard this year to give you more, detail because we're starting so late. We've caught, we were able to train in the summer and do a lot of fitness, but we weren't able to play a lot. So there's still some players that we're questioning and watching. So, next week is going to be a big week for us preparing.
Yeah, you said the same thing Coach Caruso said yesterday. There's a lot of conditioning, and he goes starting next week. He goes all he was doing is games because, you see people doing the touches and stuff like that. But how are they going to be in the competitive nature going up against other?
Yeah, people? Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we some of the players played in the Tinton Falls Summer League summer tournament. It was a couple weeks ago, and I got to see some players play, but it's, it's only a little bit. You have to see in a longer, long term, how can these players impact and where can they play?
Yeah, I got to see a few games at the Good Sports League that summer they had. RBC looks.
They're strong.
They're
Yeah.
going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, they're in our division this year, so we'll be seeing RBC twice.
Yes, and they were without doubt the strongest team. Middletown wasn't in there, Freehold wasn't in there, so there wasn't a lot of strong teams there. So it was hard to gauge. I mean, Shore Regional was in there, but they broke their team up into two, so it's kind of hard to see. And it looked like majority of the teams, it was underclassmen. Like I know St. Rose was there, and the first game I went to, I didn't see any of the upperclassmen that I knew, honestly.
Yeah.
So they did look dominant, but it was also, they weren't going up against, the top echelon in the Shore Conference.
Yeah.
But they, and I heard they have a very good freshman class coming in too. So.
Yes, I heard the same. Yeah. So they're going to be, tough competition.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to talk a little bit about the schedule. How do you find, to me, it's tough when you're playing a home game, then you get a day off, then you're playing the same team. What are your thoughts now? I know the reasoning for it, but what's your feeling, about, preparing for something,
Well, it's definitely, if you look back in previous years, we would play teams twice, right? We play them at the beginning and then we play them, this is definitely different because you're seeing them in the same week. Yeah. So, preparing for the game, you're going to see them on, say, Tuesday, and you're playing again on a Thursday or a Saturday, preparation for it is going to be small, but you also got to see them twice. So it's going to be a little bit challenging, but at this point, I'm just happy we're playing, and having an opportunity to play and get these teams in, especially for our senior class, to have these games, means a lot. So if we have to play them twice in 1 week, especially like I said, we're going to be seeing RBC, we're going to be seeing Homedale, RFH, Monmouth, Raritan. So we're going to be seeing all these teams, twice in 1 week. So it's,
yeah, that's
it'd be a tough couple weeks.
Yeah, I said yesterday to Coach Caruso that also depends when you get a team, because Wall last year at the beginning of the year was not the same Wall team at the end of the year.
They were strong at the end, yeah.
They were very strong at the end. They were fun to watch. Because teams might have an off day. And he brought up a good point. He said the one negative is, say you blow a team out or they blow you out. He goes, how do you get the team's mentality set 2 days later saying, that, if you get blown out, it's just one game. And he goes, where, the old schedule, you play somebody early in the year, you get killed. You could be a whole different team at the end, like
absolutely,
team at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So
it's good. And, even if it's just, if you come out winning one game and then the next game, you can't be complacent, you know, you gotta, because
the flip side, that's what he was saying too.
It's hard to win 2 games in a row, no matter,
especially against the same team.
Same team, absolutely.
Basketball last season, Mattiswan played Homedale 4 times, like that. I don't know how you do that. That division, and they played Rumson 3 times. That because that division, is the cream of the crop in the basketball. So usually, and Central Jersey, they're all in the same group. So you end up seeing them regular season twice, Shore Conference tournament, and then states. So
and game scouting. You talk about game scouting. You see them one, and then all of a sudden you know what they're going to be doing. So it's going to change a little bit. We talk about corner kicks and set pieces and starting lineups and who's playing. So. That's all going to be played and taken into consideration.
Last question for, going into this season. Well, not last question, but how do you handle the COVID with the phases, the training, that the state laid out? Yeah.
I have to say I was incredibly proud of our players, never complained. They were just tremendous throughout this whole process. Whatever we asked them, they were, okay, coach, all right, we got it, wearing the mask. Because, it's it's so different, and the expectations and the procedures, you know, to ask for them, especially if they're playing club together, which is completely different than high school. But I have to say, overall, the process going through, the players were tremendous. You know, our athletic department helped out tremendously getting those phases in place, so we had the opportunity to play this year. But, you know, overall, the restrictions, you know, we made the best of it. So in our team, we talk about things that we can control, right? So this is something that we can't control. This is an event we can't control. The only thing that we can control is our response, and get the outcome that we want. So the outcome we want is we want to play. So if it comes to phases, that's what we'll do, you know, and just staying a positive mindset and just moving forward and knowing that if this is what the process is going to take us to get us onto the field, and that's what we're going to do. And the players were tremendous.
I mean, it seems like too that, you know, the way they rolled it out, it seemed to work because I'm not hearing any, you know, breaks and stuff. You
Absolutely.
know, hopefully that continues. What are some goals you have set, you know, or you're looking to set for this upcoming season for your team?
So, you know, each year we set goals, and for this year is no different. You know, as I spoke on before, we played against a very tough competition last year, and you know, we were in it some games. You know, we're not a team that's going to back down, so we're going to play hard. So that's, you know, every team that comes, we play, we're going to end up playing everything we got. But for us, this year is going to be, you know, outlast and outplay our competition. You know, we need to be the one on top. We have to be the one that it outplays everyone that comes, because, you know, we're seeing another tough schedule. You know, like I said, we're going to be seeing RBC, we're going to be seeing Homedale. You know, so it's a very tough schedule for us going forward. So for us, our mentality is just we have to outlast and outplay everyone that we play against. You know, and another one is, I said before, was increase our shooting percentage and scoring opportunities. You know, we just got to find the back of the net. A lot of times last year, we were in the position to be the winning team, but we just, you know, it just couldn't get that ball in the back of the net. So we're looking to do that, and also defensively, you know, do a better job. So, you know, we have units, and we meet with our units about, you know, what some goals that we'd like to set. And we have individual goals, you know, that will help the overall team goals. But definitely our main thing this year is just outlast and outplay. That's our goal, you know.
Before we wrap up, I want to ask you this. I talked to a basketball coach about this. Do you feel like the local club program, like, you know, Oceans Soccer Club, if you have a strong, you know, club program that helps the high schools feed into the high schools? You know, you look at Wall's success, success, Jackson's success, they all, you know, very strong club programs, you know, in the youth age. Do you feel that, you know, that's a case where it helps the high schools in that area?
Absolutely. And you know, over the course of me taking over the head coaching position, you know, that's something that we've been trying to work on, rebuilding, and also building the bridge and the gap between high school and the feeder program, the youth program. I'm in touch with a lot of the, you know, the coaches down there, trainers, just so we're all on the same page. You know, I think that's absolutely, like you just said, it's a, you know, huge impact on our high school, and also for female athletes too, staying involved in the sport. You know, not stepping away. So that's something that, for me as a head coach, I want to make sure that you know, help out as much as I can at the youth and club level, so that they're coming up and they're continuing to play in high school and bridging that gap.
Yeah, and you know, the basketball game I was at, you saw that, you know, the little guys played at halftime. You know, it was, you know, cute that, you know, they bring them in, they get to watch the game. You know, they play the game at halftime during the girls' game. And you know, I know a lot of, you know, basketball wise, a lot of coaches like to bring in the middle schools and, you know, the grammar school basketball teams to come watch that, you know, to see, you know, on the bigger they could see on the bigger level what they could be playing in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, the buy-in starts at a young age, you know, like knowing that, like, I remember being young and going to the high school games, looking up and thinking these were like all-stars, you know, like I want to do that one day. And so it's important to have that bond between the high school and the youth programs and club teams. Even the middle school, we do a lot going down to the middle school and attending practices down there, just so they're familiar with me and the coaching staff, and also some of our seniors. We do activities down there with them, so it's just trying to get that bond and that connection. No disconnect going through.
Yeah, I agree. And are they receptive, like when you go to the middle school? Because one coach, he's trying to build for basketball. Try to build up the youth program, and he's not getting the response that he wants. And he's willing to put in the work. Like he goes to middle school, and he gets not like they're just there. The coach can go home, and that's it. Where he's trying to build something in the town he's in.
There's always a process, right? So it's never change is always going to be difficult. So overall, it's been working out, and it's also been a good process for us to rebuild that relationship and to see the middle school players and work with the coaches down there. So it's been a good opportunity. It's been working well.
All right. Well, I think that wrap up now. I appreciate you joining me, and I look forward to hopefully the schedule for somebody like me. It's tough. It's going to be tough for me to see everything this year. And, I was telling Coach Caruso that yesterday. I go, most of the divisions are playing the same day. I think there's 2 divisions that are playing on different days, which is good.
Yeah.
But, the only benefit, if there's 2 good matchups in a day, you could catch the other game 2 days later or something. That's the only benefit. But
if everything works out in the season, we have the Maya Cup game. It's a great game for you to come. So I'd love to see you come.
I definitely want to get to that this year, especially, I definitely circle events where the schools are doing a fundraiser and stuff. I do for basketball, and soccer too. Want to see what kind of events are out there. And,
so once that date's set, I'll share it with you. And I thank you for having me, and appreciate.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you joining me. Thank you. All right.
Okay.